story and the storytelling and the stories, and they're all kind of interwoven, but we're hardwired to tell stories to each other. So I believe marketing is storytelling essentially. And I also believe that there's things that we can do as entrepreneurs that will help us always kind of be in that space where we're promoting our business, because at the end of the day, that's what we have to do, right? So in my time today, I'm going to do a little teaching, a little preaching, and a little storytelling. And I did want to mention, because on you guys in Zoom probably know this, but you can move your Zoom bar that's got the little people that are probably over to the right-hand side. If those are your Zoom chat bar is in the way of the slide, you can actually grab that guy and get rid of it or move it around. So I can't do that for each and every one of you, but in case you need to see better, you may do that. So my goals for today are simple and they're short, but they're important, I think. And the biggest goal is to inspire you. So if we're talking about mindset, it's like my why is actually to inspire people. So I'm a marketing consultant, why is my why? To inspire people. Entrepreneurs need to be inspired all the time, right? Every day. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about, why having a marketing mindset is so important, and also leave you with 3 bullet points of things you can do to kind of pivot and get your head back into that marketing space. I want to do the inspiration part, but I know there's some of you who like your little bullet points. So we've got 3 little things. So I want you to at least feel like you're leaving with at least 1 nugget. Okay. So first of all, what is mindset? There's a lot of talk about being mindful or having the right mindset. And in my own definition, I think that mindset is what you believe about what you yourself know and you're capable of. So that is your mindset. So if we're looking at a fixed mindset, I think that means, okay, I believe I know all this stuff, but it's finite and it is what it is and it's not really changing, right? So a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset looks like, I believe I know a lot of stuff, but I also believe that I can learn more and I can grow and I can change. And I think it's kind of easy to figure out as an entrepreneur, you're better off to have a growth mindset than a fixed mindset. Actually, for anybody, better to have a growth mindset than a fixed mindset. However, especially for entrepreneurs, when you're creating things literally from scratch, it's very critical that you have this growth mindset. So I think that successful entrepreneurs have a growth mindset, they've got a success mindset, and they always have a positive mindset as well. And I have this little picture, not just for decoration, but this picture of me doing power pose. And so I'm sure some of you are familiar with this concept of power pose being where if you physically stand in a space for 2 minutes, that your hormones and your chemistry, and I see is just doing power pose, it looks like she is, that you can change your chemistry and it can change the way you think about things and the way that you feel. So a lot of times before people do presentations, when they just want to kind of, pep themselves up, they stand in power pose. So what other kind of a mindset do you need? I think you need a marketing mindset. And so to me, this is what a marketing mindset says. It says, I know I have something people want and people need. I know that I can help people, but they're not going to be able to find me unless I share my story. So there are people who will resonate with me and my story and turn into prospects, which then some of those turn into sales, even referrals, if I only share my message. So it's just this place that you are in your head of feeling confident that you know you've got something that people want and need. So who cares? Why does it matter? Well, I think that the reason that it matters that you try to keep this marketing mindset is because a marketing mindset makes you more approachable. It makes you more human. When you're always operating from this framework and this marketing mindset, you act a little bit different and you may even write differently or have different content because you're more of a real person. You just want to connect with others. It also means that you focus on your customers more. Sometimes we worry so much about our features and our benefits and all that kind of stuff that, you know, used to be taught in sales, not realizing that when you're in a marketing mindset, all you're looking for is connection. So it makes you more approachable and you want to talk to other people about what it is that they need. A marketing mindset also keeps you remembering that consistency is one of the most important things. Showing up matters. And I think lastly, a marketing mindset gives you hope. If you're an entrepreneur and you're always in this place of having a good marketing mindset, you always know that regardless of whatever happens, things can get better, you can change, you can learn more, you can reach more people. So you always have hope. So now we're going to talk about quickly these 3 things, and I'm calling them resets. So when you're finding that you might feel kind of discouraged, or you don't know what to do with your marketing, or you think you just did something and you don't think it works, if you want to just get yourself in the right headspace, is to tell yourself, I am a storyteller, I look for opportunities, and I am marketing to humans. So we're going to talk about each of these 3 for just a few minutes. So the first one being storytelling, and I literally could talk about storytelling for hours or days, because I believe this is so important. You know, as humans, we're hardwired to connect through story. We have more meaning in our life when we connect through story. It adds context into our lives. Context is one of those things that makes our story different from somebody else's story. And I also believe that when you are in a storytelling framework, it takes you out of the sales mindset a little bit. And I am not saying sales is not important. We know sales is a very important function in our business, but when you're focused on sales, sales, sales all the time, you tend to drop out of that mindset of connection because you're so worried about the numbers and what's going to happen if this person doesn't buy, and what if they ask for a discount, and all you're doing is starting this churning about sales. And I know we've all been there, right? So when you're thinking storytelling mindset versus sales mindset, you're just thinking, I want to connect with someone. Now that leads into a sales funnel. We're not going to talk about sales today. So as I said, I'm not discounting sales, but I'm just saying if you go into it, a marketing mindset is always saying, I just want to connect with people. So I want to tell just a quick story about myself, and I'm sure you guys have all seen the thing on social media where there's the little pictures and it has like a teacher or a mom or something like that, and like the teacher might, or an athlete, and it says, what my mom thinks, those pictures, what my mom thinks I do, what my friends think I do, you know, all these different things, and then it's finally like what I really do, and it's usually things that aren't so glamorous as people think. Well, I'm going to flip that kind of a little bit, and so it's like, what do I do? What do I spend my days doing? Well, I'm on Zoom, as we all are these days. I'm on Zoom having meetings. I'm writing and scheduling more meetings. I'm typing things. I'm telling other people's stories. I'm writing content for people. And I'm presenting. Now, these were real people. So this is obviously pre-pandemic, back in the days when you presented to real people, but still I'm presenting and doing like today. So this is kind of what my world looks like. And if I say I'm a marketing consultant, this is what you think about it. Well, what I want people to know that I do adds a little bit of that context. And that is, when I was in grad school, getting my master's degree in library and information science, I know, librarian, about 12 years ago, we watched a movie, and it was in a class that was called The Information User, and it was all about understanding what people want and how people communicate. And so they were showing in this movie back in the time period when we were transitioning from oral language to written language, and books were actually being written, but at the time books were literally handwritten. So it's not like you published it and bought it on Amazon and there were 10,000 copies. There was one, maybe someone copied it, there were 2. So how did people communicate? Through guys like this. And they said, you know, the troubadours would go around and tell the story of the day. So troubadours are minstrels, like this little dude here with his little lute or ukulele or whatever stringed instrument that is, would go around and make up these songs and tell people the news. So in my mind, when I saw that in that movie that day in class, that just clicked something for me. And I thought, not only do I love the word troubadour, but this idea of being a storyteller, that's what I want to do. So my marketing consulting, if you look at me, I look like I'm having meetings and talking on the phone, but I want to add this context because I want you to think, oh, she's a storyteller. She's like this guy. I don't want to look like this guy, but she's like this guy. I also want people to know I can help you tell your stories and take your little magic fairy story dust and sprinkle it on people when you're out sharing your information in them. So that's just an example of when you have the storytelling mindset, you take some of the facts and you add some context to it to make it more understanding. And that's what sets you apart. So the second thing was I see opportunities. So we all know opportunities are everywhere, right? And I think when you have a marketing mindset, you are constantly, maybe it's in the back of your mind, but you're constantly kind of tuned in to always be looking for opportunities. And if you are an entrepreneur, you're nimble, you're flexible, and you're able to pivot. Sometimes we always think, man, I wish I was like the big guys. I wish I had all this budget, and I wish I had staff, and I wish I had all these things. Well, don't worry about that, because when you're small, you're better able to pivot and be flexible. And the last thing is, if you're thinking about opportunities, I would suggest that you put into your little marketing mindset, I ask for and receive help. Now, this may not be a big deal for some of you, but I know there are some people who struggle with this concept of asking for help. And I know a lot of the women that are on this call and meeting today, and women in general, are really good givers. Sometimes where you don't do as well taking and receiving. So there are other entrepreneurs, and when there are opportunities or you're looking for opportunities, lean on other people and ask for help. So I wanted to give a quick little story, a few stories of seeing opportunity. So this is an example of when you're in a marketing mindset and you see opportunity. And I believe all three of these people are actually at this conference today. So I'll quickly go through these. And first on the left, you'll see Madison Yin. MadisonYin.com is her website if you want to connect with her. She is a branding photographer, and I met her recently. She moved here from someplace else. She's been in Denver a little more than a year. So a branding photographer is helping somebody get shots of themselves or doing what they do, using those in their marketing. And she had just, excuse me, moved here, shooting people, and what happened? COVID happened. Everyone knows COVID happened. So of course her business kind of took a dive immediately because she couldn't be in person shooting people. And so Madison saw this opportunity of knowing that she works with these entrepreneurs and they need photography to use in their marketing. So she created an online course about how to take your own pictures. And so that's a great story, I think. And I did a little class of Madison's of, you know, using your phone to be able to take pictures of yourself or for yourself for things in your business. So that's a great example of seeing opportunity. If she was just worried about, oh, I can't shoot anymore, what am I going to do now? Then she wouldn't have thought of that opportunity. So the second one, this middle picture, is the home page of a company called Pods Dance Company. And Pods is put on your dancing shoes. And so Kaylee Shadwinkle, who owns this dance company in Nebraska, it's little, so you probably can't see it, but it says on this screenshot, first studio in Nebraska with a live virtual dance program established prior to COVID-19. So I think it's important, and she's got it underlined, so she obviously knows it's important on her website that she says established prior. So here's another, bricks and mortar business, dance studio, COVID hits, have to close, don't have the dance classes. And so if she had not had online classes, I imagine, as sharp as she is, she still would have implemented them. But even before COVID happened, she saw the opportunity, knowing there were people outside of her geographic area who could benefit from taking dance classes from her in a virtual setting. So she established all of this virtual business, still having a bricks and mortar business. And then when COVID happened, she was able to pivot very quickly, lean on her online work, and then open up again. And now she has also moved into the Denver area. So this is her website. You may want to connect with her as well. And my last example is over here on the right. This is Suzanne Mitchell, and you may visit her exhibitor booth today, from Zamar Screen Printing. Now, Suzanne's typical customer is somebody who does trade shows. So Suzanne is branding things for them, you know, making the swag or the shirts or the things they're going to give away at their trade shows. And once again, let's say it all together, COVID happens. So Suzanne's business also looked like it could take a big hit because all these people weren't doing trade shows. So Suzanne saw the opportunity of reaching out to people and letting them know there were other things they could use promo items for. So she created this whole guide about showing gratitude and things you could do to give gifts to people and show gratitude outside of a trade show environment. So all of these people, as I'm sure all of you, many more of you that I know, plus everyone here probably has had to see opportunity. When you have a marketing mindset, you automatically are looking for opportunity instead of having to get to that desperate place of thinking, oh my God, what opportunities can I have now? So the third and last bullet is pretty short, but it's just this idea that we are marketing to humans. Sometimes we get so caught up in the business side and the number thing, and especially if we're B2B, we just think, well, we're selling to a business. So I don't know if you've heard H to H, and I thought maybe I had coined this. I didn't coin this, somebody else did. But H to H stands for human to human. So whether you're B2B or B2C, you are H to H. And I always say it's important that when you're creating content or you're behind a Zoom screen or something like that, you realize you are still talking to real people. So not everyone is your customer. If you've ever heard a presentation by me, you will probably realize that I say that all the time, but it's true. Not everyone is your customer. You have to realize that you are always talking to real people. So when you're writing something, you sit, sit up, look at 2 feet in front of you, whether it's your computer or something else, and realize that's a person too that I'm talking to. So what this looks like, kind of in recap, is if you have a marketing mindset, you'd say this to yourself. Adopting a marketing mindset means I'm always looking for opportunities to share my stories with real people, knowing that the right ones will result in success. So I wanted to say thank you. I am still, I believe, under my time. I wanted to encourage you to visit my exhibitor booth today and the other times that we have open. I've got a giveaway that you can sign up for. I also am really excited. I have my first online class. It's coming out next Thursday. But for all of you, thanks, Jess, for all of you that are here today for the next 2 days, it's worth $499. I'm selling it for $79, but you guys can buy it for $39 if you do it before October 31st. So please follow me on social, connect with me. I live to serve people. Truly, I would sit in Starbucks all day if I could and just listen to people's stories. The last thing I wanted you to do, if this were in person, I would be telling everyone, stand up, get out of your chairs right now. And so you don't have to get up if you want to do, unmute yourself if you're willing, because I just want to do a little exercise to kind of raise the energy because it's tough being on Zoom. So it's like, I'm going to say something and you're going to repeat it. And hopefully there's a lot of people all shouting it out at the same time. And if there's 2, God bless you, those 2 people who are going to do it. So I just want to remind you that you can have this marketing mindset. And so when you have a marketing mindset, these are the things you tell yourself. So I'm going to say them and then you're all going to repeat them. Okay. I show up.
I show up.
I am a storyteller.
I am a storyteller.
I always see opportunities.
I always see opportunities.
I got this.
We got this.
Got this.
Just want to remind you that you got this, and I will leave you with this question, and that is, what is one thing you're going to do to either adopt the marketing mindset or work on your marketing mindset in the next week? So thank you very much. Hope this was helpful.
Oh, Lori, it has been incredibly helpful and amazing and useful. I was making notes all the way through, and you should see the chat when you get a chance to pause now and go look at that chat. Accolades and amazing shout outs and encouragement and ways that you are helping each and every one of us, not only through your presentation, but in the one-on-ones that you've had all the way up to this moment in time. Thank you so much, Lori. I so appreciate learning from you today. And I really like the exercise at the end. That callback is great.
That's awesome.
Sure.
Lori.